Hello, hello. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to a brand new edition of the Mike and Devani Show. It is a week after elections. Stan Lee's dead. Oh, God.
Gosh, really? Damn, the money.
The stress of the elections is what got to him, man. Damn. But honestly, man, RIP to Stan Lee, bro. That actually like really hurt my feelings when I found out this guy passed away, man. He touched so many lives if you actually think about it. Created so many superheroes. Damn. Damn. All right, well, I'm Devani.
And I'm
This is
Mike.
There goes
And
Mike.
welcome to the show.
Yeah, welcome to the show, guys. Today we're going to be talking about a lot of very interesting current event topics that have been shaking the nation up and shaking up people's lives and their panties because Stanley died.
Oh
It's
my
crazy.
gosh.
It's
Oh
crazy,
my
man.
gosh. Whoa. Did you say panties? Help me understand that, the money. Where did that come from?
Because a lot of people like Stan Lee, dude, an inspirational way and a sexual way,
Oh
man.
my god. Oh
Oh
my
damn.
gosh.
Well, honestly, well, no. The crazy thing is, dude, remember, like a couple months ago when there was a guy that impersonated a nurse, got in Stanley's house and stole some of his blood, and
Really?
yeah, bro, they were talking about it on the news and on like, TMZ and stuff like a few months ago. So this guy, it's crazy. This guy impersonated a nurse. I honestly don't know how in the world he got into Stanley's house. Got in Stanley's house, took some of Stanley's blood, infused his blood with some ink, and like started, signing like first edition comic books or pictures or whatever with Stanley's blood ink. So
Yo.
now, yeah, it's crazy, right? So now, just imagine how much money this guy's blood ink is worth now. That's
Oh
Stanley.
my gosh. That's kind of creepy to think of things like that, but damn, people are gnarly, man. They're crazy, bro. I don't understand. It's not that serious, you know what I mean?
Not that serious. You know how much money this guy's gonna make? I mean, listen. I don't co-sign stealing of a 90-something-year-old guy's blood just to sell it and make a bunch of money. That's a scumbag move. But this guy's gonna make guap, man.
So stupid.
All right, so
I,
what's the most memorable thing of Stan Lee's work that like impacted your life?
so there's Spider-Man and there's obviously Black Panther. He co-authored that, so, basically all of the Marvel characters that he's created has been made some impact on my life. I'm a Marvel fan personally. Don't hate people. Just Marvel is just so much greater than DC in my personal opinion. So any character is like a million times better than any DC character. So anything that Stan Lee made, I'm a fan of, and it's kind of sad to see him go. I'm pretty sure they're gonna figure out a way to still put his face in all the movies, because he always makes a cameo appearance in all the movies, all the Marvel movies, like either in the middle of the movie he like is driving a taxi or is opening a door or something. He always makes some type of appearance, and I think that was, a lot of people look forward to that every time a Marvel movie came out. Oh, how they're gonna, incorporate him in the movie this time or whatnot. It was funny, and that's something that just brings Stanley, I guess, back to conversation. I guess I don't know. I always liked it. Maybe it's just me or what. What do you think?
No, no, I definitely agree. Those cameos are really cool. They're always like a good like a lighthearted moment whenever Stan Lee pops up out of nowhere to get saved by Spider-Man from like a piece of a building falling, and the Spider-Man would shoot
Yeah,
the web, and he would
yeah,
like you
yeah,
said, he'd be a taxi driver and be stick his head out the window, but like holy cow, or say something crazy or
yeah.
whatever. It's pretty
Yeah, I
cool,
thought
but
that was always cool. But yeah, it's sad to see him go. And like I said, I'm sure they're gonna figure out a way to put him in some of these movies again.
yeah, of course, man. They have the technology, bro. Remember when they had uh, I think now that you were actually talking about it, there was like a guy that was an actor that was playing like a general of the Empire on one of the Star Wars movies, and
Oh, I know what you're talking about. So
yeah,
they did that with Leia, in this last Star Wars movie. I want to say.
oh yeah, yeah, true, yeah. When she got blown up out of this, oh never mind. I don't want to. And it's months after the Star Wars movie came out. If y'all didn't see it, I'm sorry. We're gonna be talking about the movie. I'm sorry. So I mean, I think it was the part when she got blown up out of the ship and she was floating in space, and then she used the Force to go back in. That part. That's the part you're talking about.
I think so, yes. And then they did it with was it with Hans? Wasn't with Hans. They did it with somebody again. I'm not sure who. But yeah, yeah, I thought it was cool.
That's dope. But yo, it's so crazy when you actually think how far technology has come, where somebody can be dead and we can put them in a movie and just make them say and do or whatever that person that edited the movie wants them to do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's awesome, man.
I don't know about awesome, but
I mean, it's cool. I mean, that's where technology is at, right? You mean the ability to basically just, I don't know, do yeah.
I know you've seen that brand new technology that they have where you can mask your face onto say a president's face and just
Yeah,
move.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, you
yeah,
see
yeah.
that, and you can then make the president quote unquote say whatever the hell you want and take crazy stuff, and it looks like it's real, and that's kind of scary, man. Because, dude, in the next 5 or 6 years, you could start a World War III like that.
Well, that's I feel like I don't know, man. That's another thing too. So you know how video evidence is usually like strong evidence. I'm just thinking out loud. Um, if you can do stuff like that, then does that not make video evidence as strong as it was at one point anymore? Because, for instance, all the stuff that's happening with police officers, gunning down people or just like robberies or anything like that, like the only thing you have to prove is that the video wasn't tampered with in order to prove that it's 100% good evidence. But now that you can do all this like extra shit to it, like I don't know, just random thought, because you brought that up.
Yeah. Well, no, I definitely see what you're talking about, but what I feel like with those kind of cameras, with like the body cams that's on police officers and police cop cars, or even cell phone cameras, if you actually think about the quality of what the video looks like, that's kind of hard to doctor that quality, like the shadowing and the graininess, and there's like a real quality that it looks like, to where, okay, I'm pretty sure you've seen where people have, oh, I seen a UFO, and they're like looking at the video on
Yeah,
their
yeah,
cell
yeah,
phone.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and they doctor in a UFO that's flying around doing crazy stuff, and you can clearly tell that the shadowing's off, or the quality of the UFO doesn't match the grain quality of the background. And you can clearly see that it's doctored. So I feel like when it comes to stuff like you were talking about with police stuff, or anything that has to do with real life videos and not like HD cameras that television shows use, those can be easily doctored. But I don't feel like a cell phone video can be easily doctored unless you're a complete idiot and just like, oh, it's a UFO with no shadow. Like, I
Hey
mean,
man, you don't ever know, man. You don't know. People are capable of a lot of things nowadays. So um, I don't know. Yeah, it is. But I know that you wanted to get into your topic of talking about this election that passed and basically the ongoing election. I shouldn't even say passed because it's still going on. They're doing a recount in Florida, and you said Arizona, and I believe Georgia as well, or are they done with Georgia?
Oh, from what I'm seeing online right now, this is updated November 12th, and they did say this is how close the results are in Georgia, Florida, and Arizona. So it's a crazy thing. So in Florida, Senator Rick Scott and Bill Nelson are pretty much 0.15 points away from each other. And when you're that close, when it comes to election, you have to do a recount. So it's pretty much 12,536 votes is what separates Rick Scott and Bill Nelson, and having Bill Nelson actually become the senator of Florida, which is crazy because Florida's a red state. But I mean, there's a lot of things in Florida where if you go to a lot of these cities, it's not really, it's kind of hard to describe if you haven't been to Florida. But Florida's not really like a South state. There's parts of Florida, like Tallahassee and Jacksonville and stuff, and like the in between cities like Gainesville and Ocala, or whatever, where it's kind of redneckish a little bit, but you're in the South. But when you come like to Orlando and like Tampa and like Miami, you don't really feel like you're in the South. Like if you were to go to Georgia or Alabama, it's not the same feeling. So it's kind of more of an up north kind of feeling. People are more democratic and more open minded to trying. They're less conservative. They're more open minded. So like if Florida was to turn into a blue state, that would be very interesting. 'Cause we're the third largest state in the country, so that would be very interesting. But
It's the fourth largest state in the country, I thought.
fourth, well, I always hear they say that that's the third. That's when
Oh,
I
it's
see like,
third.
yeah, when I always see the what is it? The debates between Gillum and DeSantis. They were kept saying we're the third largest state, lowest crime or whatever, all this other stuff. They kept saying third largest state. So correct me if I'm wrong, third or fourth, whatever. We're the top five of the large states in the U.S. I can't be wrong with that. All right, so they said that the only votes separating Rick Scott from Bill Nelson is 12,536 votes. But the crazy thing about that is that a lot of people are trying to sue Rick Scott, or trying to ask or force Rick Scott to get his nose out of recuse himself from overseeing the Florida midterm recount, which is the crazy thing. It's like, how can an opponent going for re-election, is the person that oversees the count, the actual counting of the
I don't
votes.
understand that either.
Of course, they're gonna cheat. And then even in in Georgia, they've been found cheating like crazy. Voter suppression out the yin yang. And then even after people vote, they're still in Florida and Georgia. I don't know about Arizona, but in Florida and Georgia, in a lot of these voting polls, that venues that people would go to go vote, they're either crazily suppressed, and they had a hotline that you would have to actually physically call if somebody is experiencing voter what's the word? Is brain fart. Voter suppression.
Oh,
Yeah, voter suppression. And then they're even up to this day right now, they're still finding barrels of ballots that have not been counted, and these ballots are just like thrown in a closet somewhere, or like put in a truck, and like nobody finds them until like today. So it's just crazy, man. It's just so crazy that in 2018 there's still so much voter suppression. And I mean, obviously, it's directed more towards brown and black people. Obviously, they try to do anything to get us to not vote, don't do anything, and so that way
bro,
our voices are never heard.
isn't that same guy trying to stop the recount? I don't understand it. Even 45 is trying to like stop the recount. I don't understand that. So what if you know that you are going to win, or the votes are going to help you, I don't understand why you wouldn't want to recount. Like if I don't understand. Like I'm a little confused. Like I can't conceptualize what it is that why none of these politicians, especially on the right, they don't ever want to recount.
Of course, because think about it, that just shows blatantly that they know that they've been caught red-handed and cheating. it just blares that I've been cheating and I don't want to recount because I know I'm going to lose because I've been suppressing people for so many years. Bro, the amount of turnout for people that's been voting, that's never voted before, in just Georgia by itself, it's like it was like 70 something percent of people that never voted. This was their first time voting, and they're old, like 40s and up. They never voted in their entire life. Either they didn't have the exact match rule, they didn't know about that, or they live in a rural area, or they're just scared to vote because of voter suppression in the area that they live at. There's so many factors that go into it, and it's 2018. Why is this stuff still happening? I don't want to sound like a broken record. I'm sure if you watch the news, a lot of people are saying, "Damn, it's 2018. Why is this stuff still happening?" But that's just something that needs to be said, man. You can't be almost in the damn. We're in the 21st century, almost halfway through the 21st century, and we're still having 20th century problems. That's not good. That's not good. All
Bro,
right.
it's a way to control the money, right? And control the narrative, I think. You know what I'm saying? Like if so from what I've read and from what I've, noticed is there clearly the conservative party, quote unquote, wants to limit government, right? That's their claim agenda. That's what they say they try to do, right? They want to give back all the power to the businesses and all this other garbage, and the opposite is the Democrats. Apparently, Democrats wants to, you know, give all these incentives to the people, and the government is for the people, yada yada yada, whatever, whatever. Um, my point being is these two parties, they have certain things that they want to portray to the public, and in my opinion, I feel like, it's a money thing, right? So they get into power and basically try to see how much money they can raise for their friends, or they can, I don't know, do for their friends, their buddies, their peers, versus all the people that's actually putting them in office, if that makes sense.
Yep, of course.
So, like, for right now, the people that are in power, the Republicans, they say that they're for this and they're for that. And even 45 himself, bro, you just brought up a point about, these guys are doing things, and they're blatantly saying things and doing it, and it's obvious what they're doing, and nobody's calling them out on it. 45 himself is saying the things that he's doing and why he's doing it, and he's implicating himself, basically telling us what he's doing is illegal, and he doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah,
And
just
nobody is doing anything about it. And I don't understand that. I don't understand it, because to me, you know, if you supposed to portray a certain idea to, and you want your people to vote for you or put you in office, and you want to support those people that put you in office, and then in my eyes, I would think if somebody is not doing what they said they're supposed to be doing for their supporters, then why are you not calling them out on it? Why do you continue to support their acts? You continue to, I guess, keep a blind eye to what they are doing and deny the things that they're doing, even though it's coming out of their mouth. Bro, do you know what threw me for a loop one day? I was watching CNN, and one of the CNN, well, I think he was like a Fox contributor or something. He didn't work for CNN, but he's always on there, is this bald guy. And one of the questions Don Lemon asked him had to do with president. And I can't remember exactly what the comment was, but basically had something to do with the president saying he like didn't know, or he knew the guy that he put in charge of to be the attorney general. Like he's like the he's the attorney general right now, but he's not. He's like the what is it called? The
He's like
acting attorney
standing.
general. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
standing acting attorney general. And Don asked him like, why did the president deny that? And basically the guy said, "Oh, he didn't deny it. He said this and that and da da da." I'm like, he did say he didn't know the guy. He said it. He blatantly said he doesn't know the guy. And it's just stuff like that, bro. It's like, why do they keep defending this guy when he lies? Like,
Yeah, and it's caught on camera. Like, come on,
yeah,
we're not all blind. We're not all deaf. We're not all dumb. We could clearly understand what this guy's
yeah.
talking about. Like, I don't even know. But honestly, just like back at what you were saying, like, how do they still back whatever this guy's talking about, even though it's blatantly wrong and it's blatantly unethical? It's just because they don't have a backbone. Honestly, when you think about it, they just listen. A lot of the Let's just be frank, bro. A lot of the people that still support Trump, they're just blatantly racist, man. Obviously, most of them. I
So
mean, I'll say
so
like not all of them. I would say like 97% of them, and there's still like 3% is some wife that's being forced to vote for him or agree with what he's saying because her husband is like might slap her up or something.
all
That's
right.
honestly what I feel like.
So here's my thing, right? And just entertain this for a second. Like, don't take it the wrong way. So I I like to see things from both sides, right? You know, you can see the pros and the cons from both sides of the house. I actually think that this guy could be a good president if he wasn't.
What?
Listen, man.
All right, I'm not judging.
I honestly think that he could be a good president if he didn't focus so much on like all the stuff that he's focusing on right now. Like, you know, I really think that if he wasn't so misogynistic and, you know, if he just wasn't had the temperament that he has right now, he could actually give something to this country. Like, I think people would respect him more, and we wouldn't be following so much on all these little stories that keep coming up about just like unnecessary things. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
right now, as a country, bro, we're supposed to be the country that everyone looks towards, right? Like everybody wants to be like us. Everybody wants to move here. Everybody wants to live in America.
Yep. Have
Everybody
the
wants to
American
be America.
dream.
Yeah, everybody you know what I'm saying? And that's the example that democracy is essentially supposed to set for the world, you know. And the stage right now that, you know, we're kind of showing to the other world is that we don't know what we're doing. Like our country seems like it's falling apart. Like I feel like we look ridiculous, you know, in the eyes of all these other countries.
Yeah,
Like
man. They're laughing
people
at
are
us.
they're laughing at it. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Russia probably has something to do with it, and they're just sitting there just basically pulling the strings. Like they're doing what it is that they've been trying to do, you know? Like we basically destroyed their government. We caused the was it the Soviet Union
USSR.
to
Yeah.
collapse. Yeah.
Yeah.
Soviet Union to collapse. So, you know, there's a possibility that they're trying to spin around and do the same thing to us, cuz you know,
Well,
if
I
you
don't know
really think
about
about.
possibility. I say guaranteed. Remember, they already been pretty much caught. Like, remember they had emails from Donald Trump Jr. talking to like Russian guys in the government or Russian spies. Yeah, we're gonna get our boy in the office. Like blatantly saying, dude, just pretty much do whatever you can do to pull some strings to get this guy in office. Blatantly. And I'm surprised that this guy hasn't been indicted or something with Donald Trump Jr. There's nothing even happened to him.
So that's the thing that I just don't understand. I don't understand. Like maybe I'm ignorant to the system, or I just don't know how government work. But in my eyes, if somebody looks corrupt, smells corrupt, and they do corrupt things, and they're even telling you that they're corrupt, they probably are corrupt, and you need to
Yeah.
go
And there's
go get
proof. There's
them.
like undeniable emails and phone call records and proof.
And what
Oh God.
blows my mind, bro, this is what kills me, cuz he goes in in office when he ran with the campaign of basically lock her up, and I'm talking about him talking about Hillary, right? I just I can't fathom how, like, so this one comedian said some funny shit like the like, the rational person is looking at me and is like, man, how is this guy getting away with this stuff? But then the nigga in me is like, yo, this motherfucker is like,
He's
I don't
getting it.
understand. Yeah, he's
I
getting
want to
away.
dap him up a little
Like,
bit. Like, bro, how
yeah,
the hell are you getting away with this shit,
yeah,
man?
how the hell are you getting away with this? Like, seriously, bro. Like, this motherfucker he literally can go out in the middle of the street and shoot somebody and probably get off. Like, that right there, bro, that state of mind, like, yeah, man, it's every time, like, I turn the news on and I just hear the stuff that's, even how he talked to those black reporters. Did you see that? Like,
Yeah, he was just like, that's a stupid question, but you always ask stupid questions.
yeah,
Like, damn,
like,
yo,
and
what?
then
Oh
he told the
God.
other he told the other chick, sit down. I didn't call on you. Sit down. I'm like, yo, what is going on? Like, I completely get it. He's upset. Now he has another part of government that actually can put a check on him. That's gonna check his power, which is good. I think that it should have been that way in the first place. I think that when there's when a certain party is in power, there should always be some type of offset. You know what I mean? I don't think all branches of government should have all the same parties, and just like with the freaking judge, I don't think all those judges should have any type of party relations, bro. I think, and then if they share their party affiliation or anything like that, they should step down. They should be removed. Like, I don't think, I think they should always be neutral. So when you always hear people talking about how, oh, there's what, four conservative judge on in the legislative branch, and then the rest of them are democratic, like, that's stupid, man. It shouldn't be like that. You
Yeah, I
shouldn't,
definitely
no
agree with
one,
that.
yeah,
They'll
no
all be
one,
independent because just like how you said,
exactly.
they're appointed for life. So if you got like whether a democratic viewpoint or a conservative viewpoint appointed for life, they're gonna be changing the way society works for generations, dude. That
Yeah,
lady
it's
that's like what 80 something, 90 something. Do you know how many laws just she's passed and how many generations just her herself has affected? Now just imagine what those other dudes that aren't even half her age, how much they're gonna affect the generations to come.
Yeah, but that's the thing too, Damani. Like, they exist to be essentially the tiebreakers. They're not even supposed to. The idea, they were created with the idea of they're the last, should be the last resort. You know what I'm saying? It's like back in the day, when old time civilization, the primitive time, when you had like elders, like,
Yeah, the
you
tribal
had,
elders. Yeah, I know
yeah,
exactly what
yeah,
you're
the
talking about.
tribal elders. That's essentially what they're supposed to be. They're the elders, and they're a little bit more wiser. You know what I'm saying? Because usually they're older, right? And they stay in that position for life. Kind of the same idea, and they were created with the keeping in mind that they're supposed to be the tiebreaker. They're supposed to be the last resort, but that's not how they're being utilized. They're being utilized to make critical decisions. Like,
Yeah,
you
man,
know what I'm
on our
saying?
lives, yo, and even just making a bunch of companies, corporations, pockets fat.
Yes, exactly. And I don't like that.
They should not, like you said, they should not be doing that. Especially how they're all older and they've experienced a lot of things in their life. So that way, they should have a wiser outlook on the outcome of laws or whatever the way the direction the country is supposed to be going. They're supposed to be doing it for the better of all of society, and society is always changing. Society the way society was 20 years ago is not the way society is today, nor is the way society is going to be 20 years from now. And if you got people that are so loyal to their tribe, pretty much, or
Their
their
party.
their political party, then we can't really get anything done because all they're going to do is do whatever their political party tells them to do. And if you got 5 conservative Supreme Court justices, they're only going to do what the Republicans tell them to do, especially if they're appointed by a president that is telling all these attorney generals, FBI agents, whoever, to swear loyalty to him. So I just imagine what he's been saying to these guys that he's appointed to Supreme Court behind closed doors.
That is insane, man. Just thinking about that. Can you imagine that, Damani? Now, I want you to imagine what could happen if the House had stayed how it was, where it was Republican majority, Senate majority, and he was elected again for a second term.
Dude, America would definitely crumble, man. 100%. Dude,
You think so?
if yes, 100%. Just look what happened in the past 2 years. This guy ain't even finished. He ain't even finished his whole term yet. You already deregulated all these banks. So pretty much, I don't know if the listeners don't know, but the housing crisis that we had after Bush left office and just gave the shitty country that was the way it was, the financial crisis that we had when President Obama was elected. You know, it took them like 4 years to fix all the housing bubbles, student debt. It took a long time to fix that stuff. And that stuff is still, the ramifications of what Obama did is still happening today. But the amount of stuff that Trump is passing, deregulating the banks and everything, and pretty much writing back laws on having people that have mental disabilities able to buy firearms. There's so much stuff this guy's doing in the past 2 years.
You got to remember, though, Damani, that is the Republican agenda. The Republican agenda is to remove as much government interference as possible. So
Yeah, but the dumb thing about that is that we've already been down this road. We already know how trickle down Reaganomics works. It doesn't work because people aren't doing the way that it ideally is written down on paper. Because just like how we were reading on the last show where you were reading how the Electoral College is supposed to work and then how it really works. So once we know as a country that certain ideas don't work and we've already tested them for a number of years and they don't work, got the data and the statistics to prove that they don't work, why are you going to go back to it? So that's one of the things I really can't agree with Trump and I don't know. It's like we already know a lot of the stuff that you're doing doesn't work. Stop doing it. So
well,
we know what you're
Damani,
doing.
that's how it was interpreted by the founding fathers, right? So if you're gonna change something, you're gonna change basically the foundation of how the United States was built, which would be one of them, like changing how the Electoral College works. You know what I mean? Like if you fundamentally change the baseline to what the United States was built on. So now it's kind of one of those slippery slopes. So if you change that, then what else would you change? You know what I mean? Like you eventually end up with a completely different, not even the foundation anymore. You're not building off a foundation. It's completely changed. Like, oh, okay, well, the United States has evolved, so we should go ahead and evolve the foundation of our country. Well, I think that's, and I'm not saying anything is wrong with that. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying
No, yeah, we should
anything's wrong with
definitely
that.
do that, but
Yeah.
we should pay attention to the statistics and of other laws and stuff that's passed, regulations that's been passed years ago to learn from that. I mean, if you don't learn from your mistakes, you keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result. That's insanity, man.
Yes, but you can't expect people to want to get out of their ways, the money. You know,
Yeah.
you of all people should know that, bro. Like you live in Florida, you know how people that are stuck in their ways are, man, especially the ones that are racially prejudiced to, towards somebody that doesn't look like them. So
Yeah, yeah.
that's not something that you're hoping for, something that obviously is not going away anytime soon. You know what I mean? Like some people don't like to change. Some people like to change. It's just the nature of the beast, man. So in order for us to get to a point where civility is achieved, we all have to agree on one thing. And in order for us to be able to agree on something, we have to have a leader that brings us to the point to where we can sit at the table and have a conversation. Because that's not happening right now, we don't have the type of person that can say, "Yo, I understand that we have differences, and in order for us to get along, we need to acknowledge that we have differences. Now let's sit down and talk." Until somebody can do that, until he can realize that that's what he needs to do, it's just never gonna happen, bro. You know what I mean?
Happen. And I honestly, I feel like if the Republicans control pretty much all the government, the House, the Senate, and the presidency, that's definitely not going to happen. But now that we finally got the Democrats controlling the House, or was it the Senate? One of those two.
No,
Now
it's
that
the House.
it's the House. Okay, now we got the Democrats controlling the House, and now they can kind of start forcing his hand to where, you got to sit down and talk to people before you start just banning Muslims or writing back laws to getting people that have mental disabilities able to buy firearms, automatic firearms with bump stocks and all that kind of stuff. Like, these dudes are mentally unstable. You can't be, oh man, you can't be doing that, especially in a place like Florida, California. And you can't be doing that. Period, man.
I think that the role that the House is going to play is more of using their subpoena power, right? Because before, when any questions were asked, um, there was no answer. You know what I'm saying? Like, no one could do anything. The Democrats couldn't do anything because they didn't have majority power. So when they try to enact something or to try to pass something, it just got shut down, right? Because they didn't have enough votes. Yeah. Now the fact that they have that control and majority, now they can actually go out there and say, okay, you're doing this. We want to know why you're doing this, and we want to see all the documentation supporting why you're doing this, and et cetera, et cetera. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's more of the role they're gonna play. They're gonna try to I guess isolate these situations to where they couldn't get an answer before, and now they're going to be able to get that answer, because now he can't say no. You know what I mean?
Yup, he can't.
He can't
no
tell
choice.
him no. Yeah.
No
So
choice.
I think that's good. But back to what I was trying to say before. I know you want to say something about the mind, but before, like I was trying to say, I honestly think this guy could have been a good president if he had just focused on what it is he needed to focus on and just ignore the white noise. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
But what is your definition of good president when it comes to Trump? What's your definition?
So he was, even though, now entertain this for a second, hear me out for a second.
Oh, fuck.
Even though he has made bad business deals and all this stuff has happened to him in the past, he is still a millionaire. That's more. That's what $1 million more than I have. You know what I mean? Like, he is still a rich person. So obviously he got to where he's at because he has some type of intelligence. You know what I mean? I'm not saying this guy's an idiot, and I'm not saying he's the smartest person ever, but he still got to the place where he's at because he's doing something right. You know what I mean? Not and taking race out of it, he's still in a position to where I am not, or you're not. You know what I'm saying? So you got to look at things that way too. The second thing is, we all know him going into the position of power that he wasn't the cleanest guy. We all knew he was kind of a sleaze bag and all that stuff. So
not about kind of, he was 100% sleaze bag, man. Grab him by the pussy. Come on, dude.
Yeah. Well, we all knew that. You know what I'm saying? This is not something that was new. In addition to that, do you remember back in the day, before he even got to this point, a lot of rappers used to talk about him. I want to be like Trump. I want to be rich like Trump. In their song,
only because
all
he was
time.
rich. Only because he was rich.
Okay, great. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I think if his focus was true, I need to do my job, not focus on the media, not focus on what people think about me and just try to get this thing done. I honestly think we could have actually seen what it is that he was gonna bring to the table versus how he's acting now. Because he focuses so much of his time on responding to what people say about him and just tweeting. His focus is definitely taken away from controlling the country or bringing prosper to the country. And in addition to that, it's just highlighting just all the, I guess, the iniquities of the United States and just a lot of downfalls that we have, which is a good thing too, because now I know my neighbor is a fucking racist. You know what I'm saying? Before
Yeah,
I used to go next door and give him pie and shake his hand and say hello. Now I know he's a fucking racist. You know what I'm saying? Just by
yeah,
the shit that he says, just by his agreeing with stuff that this guy's saying on TV, just little things like, which is good. Like, so now we know when Jeff and Tom or Billy and all these people that we usually rub elbows with are fucking racist, we can point them out. We can know who we need to stay away from. You know what I mean? Like, but at the end of the day, I just think that, and this is my personal opinion, I just think that we didn't get the official, like, I guess, just seeing this guy and actually seeing what he was capable of, because his focus was smeared because he didn't do what he's supposed to do as much as I would have liked to see. But then again, I still.
but from the beginning, his focus was never on running the country in any kind of prosperous way at all. When if you actually think back and think about when he was actually running to become president, when you actually like listen to any of his speeches, he doesn't talk about doing anything. He's just saying words that sound pretty, but don't mean anything. Lock her up. What does that mean? She's gonna get locked up, and then what? She's locked up, and you're president, and that's gonna make you a better president because she's locked up. You're gonna not let Muslims into the country, and because Muslims aren't in the country, you're gonna become a better president because there's no more Muslims. When it's statistically proven that it's a bunch of white men that's making all these mass shootings, and that stuff is very well documented. So it's like, even when you think about all the things that he used to do before he became president, he was never really talking about anything. He was just saying stuff that sounds really cool. And if you watch him on the news, it's like, how the fuck is this guy even getting where he's getting? And he was very entertaining to watch. I mean, I'm not gonna lie about that. He is very entertaining. It's like when I saw him talking to that one guy, the MSNBC guy, like the day after the midterms, like what, 3 or 4 days ago, Friday, last week, Friday, whatever. Yeah, the day after the midterms, when he was yelling at the guy, telling the guy sit down, and the intern came up to the reporter and like snatched the mic out of his hand. You saw that, right?
I didn't see.
What?
Oh yeah, yeah. You're talking about the reporter. Yeah, yeah. I seen that. I seen that. They revoked his pass to come to the White. Yeah, I seen
Yeah,
that.
exactly, dude. After they revoked his pass, this guy can lose his job. So, oh gosh. So it's just like after I saw that, I was just, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, dude. I was laughing. I was like, damn, bro. It's like, it's just so mind blowing the stuff that he just does. It's so non-presidential, and it's just like, how is he getting away with this? How is this even real life? And I'm just like laughing, bro. I mean, it makes ratings and it makes me laugh, but it makes me very uncomfortable. I'm like laughing and crying at the same time. It's like it's a very strange feeling, man.
So, going back to your boy Don Lemon, man, I think he brought up a good point. I think that the stuff that Trump does is he doesn't actually take advice from his own, like his own, what do you call it,
His own
staff,
cabinet, yeah, his
his
cabinet.
own
He don't take
cabinet.
advice from them at
Yeah,
all.
I
Yo, I
think
remember they interviewed him. He said he likes chaos. When there's chaos around him, you can get away with stuff. People aren't paying
I
attention to what the hell you're doing.
Yeah, I think he purposely puts things out there just to see the feedback, and that's what he's going off of. He uses the feedback that he hears on TV, and he makes decisions based off of that. And I just going back and just thinking about things, and just even the decision that he made recently, making that guy his acting attorney general. Yeah, I honestly really believe that now. I can honestly think that that's what he's doing. I don't know what's on his mind, if that is actually what he's doing, but it's just, it seems that way.
But no, the crazy part about that guy that he's appointed to become his attorney general, that guy was being interviewed on CNN like a couple of months ago, beginning of this year, I think. And what he was saying, like his viewpoint on what the attorney general should do is like dry up all the money for the FBI, so that way their investigation pretty much grinds to a halt, and
Yeah,
Trump just
yeah.
pretty much gets away with whatever the fuck he wants. Which again is a giant red flag, because if you're how these people, how conservatives are always saying, if you're innocent, then why do you want to not have the investigation? If you didn't do anything wrong, then there's no problem in us digging through your paperwork and finding out what really happened. If you are
Yeah,
so innocent,
their argument is that, oh well, this is wasting resources or taxpayers money, and yada yada yada, and we got better things we need to do. But what's crazy is they're talking about wasting taxpayer money when this man wanted to do a damn, nothing against military, but he wanted to do like a parade
oh
that was.
yeah.
You remember that? Like
Yeah, I
that
remember that.
was.
He wanted to do a parade that was like North Korea for
Yeah.
for it was like beginning of this year. It would have cost so much money, like showing off missiles, showing off manpower, just people marching down the street doesn't really do anything. It's just like
I couldn't understand that. Like
it's so unnecessary. And then just the amount of vacations that Trump has took, flying back and forth from D.C. to Mar-a-Lago in Florida so he can golf, and then back to, remember, but when he first got elected, he was still living in New York and flying back and forth from New York to D.C. to Florida and just going back and forth. The amount of money that this guy used up, the amount of money that Obama used in 8 years for vacation time and vacation funds, this guy used it up already in a year and a half. So, which is crazy. It's crazy. It blows my mind. This guy, and he's talking about, oh, it's a waste of resources. Where, again, it's just more giant red flags. I mean, the thing I love about Trump and his cabinet crew, the people that roll with him, is that they're so sloppy and just like blatantly out there with everything that they're doing that you can't deny what they're doing is wrong. You can't deny that this guy is obviously crazy misogynistic, grabbing by the pussy, talking crazy stuff to Rosie O'Donnell and that one lady off of Fox that got fired off Fox, and then she went to MSNBC. What was her name? Kelly something, whatever. And then she got fired off of CSNBC or whatever, MSNBC. And it's just like, you're so blatant with the things that they're doing that people that still like support, I mean, I wouldn't even say Republican Party, people that are Trumpers, I mean, you really can't say that they're either not extremely biased to other races that don't look like them.
bro, they are.
Yeah, exactly. You can't. They can't deny it now. I mean, it's blatant. You can't deny it
Bro,
now.
do you
They
see?
hate themselves because I've seen women for Trump, which doesn't make any sense. One thing I don't get, where women that voted for Trump, the same women that vote for Trump in the Republican Party and they're all Trumpers, some of them are like in the Me Too movement, which doesn't make any sense to me.
But
I
the
don't
crazy
get
part is
that.
when you ask them if they disagree with the stuff that he did, this is what blew my mind. I heard this lady say, "Well, boys will be boys." I'm like, what? That doesn't make any sense. You
Yeah,
have
hold on. Then you gotta ask her, like, can you let boys be boys with your daughter and not get mad?
But bro, the crazy part is she's in a Me Too march, and that just doesn't make any sense. I'm like, what? So you can't say, and then oh man, there's so much just wrong with that, man. I just think some of these people that support this guy it's just so funny, man.
They're brain dead, yo. They gotta be brain dead. You gotta be. You gotta be
I
autistic or something, man. That doesn't make sense. You can't be
I would.
supporting Trump and grabbing pussies and then be the Me Too movement and be, oh, we got locker
Oh
room
my
talk, but
gosh.
like, come on, man. I don't. Come on, bro.
I will never forget. when I've heard people interview saying, "Oh, why do you support Trump?" They say why they support Trump, and like the comment or the reporter would say something that contradict what they say, and then the person would be like, "Well, just as long as it's not a black man or a woman in power, I don't
Oh
care."
shit,
And I'm like, "What?" And like the guy would say, "Well, Trump is trying to take away your health care, the health care that you're using right now, to survive. Well, just as long as it's not a Negro or a woman in the house, I don't care." I'm like, "What?"
yeah.
Like,
How
this
can you
man
be
is,
so vindictive, man? It's like they don't
bro.
care about getting anything done, just as long as whoever supports their narrow views is in control, even though nothing productively gets done in the
That is
country.
so crazy. I think I remember it had something to do with dialysis. Because dialysis, I never knew this, but dialysis is free, right, Damani?
For real?
Yes.
I thought you had
So
to
I
pay for that.
no, so I forgot what president implemented it, but back in the day, it got implemented because so many people had diabetes, and it was not like um uh, actually getting access to a dialysis machine was not very well funded at the
Yeah.
time. So I'll try to find this out, but I can't remember what president put it. They put in a policy that would allow people to get more better access to dialysis machine. um
So hold
and
up, is
yeah,
it free in like
basically
all throughout the whole country, or is it like certain states is free? Because I would doubt in the
it
South it'll be.
all yes, it's free throughout the country. Dialysis is free. I'm like 90% sure. I read about this before. Sorry, I'm kind of bad on my history right now, but yeah. But anyways, and
Damn, that's crazy.
the question had something to do with that. Basically saying that, yeah, so this is gonna remove your ability to use your dialysis, and like I said, the person was like, "As long as it's not a white, just as long as it's not a lady or a black man in power, I don't care." And I'm like, man,
I guess
man.
their own. Oh my gosh, the stuff that they need themselves, like I don't even care as long as it's not no. Oh gosh, that don't make any
This
sense to me.
you just
But
you just hear people say some of the stupidest things, and you're like, "Yo, I don't, why do?" So here's my thing. Maybe somebody listening can help me understand, because I don't understand why do, even till this day, do are people as racist as they are. It's not even like the subtle racism. It's just they're like blatantly racist. Like, I don't like you because you're black. It's not even anything else. It's just I just don't like you because you're black. I don't understand that. Like,
yeah,
I honestly cannot fathom how somebody can be racist. Like,
I don't know. It's just one of those things where you're. I feel like you're just not supposed to understand it. You know where I think I remember I had a teacher where they said if it's something that makes no sense, even if you no matter what viewpoint you look at it or it's something where somebody says something where they contradict themselves in the same breath, you're not supposed to try to understand them because you're just going to waste your time. Like people that yeah, the people that are Trumpers and also in the Me Too movement. Don't try to understand them. You're just gonna get a headache. You're gonna waste your time. And even if the person explains it to you that you're talking to, that's just contradicting themselves, they're gonna keep contradicting themselves even when they try to explain themselves. So it's just gonna give you more of a headache and waste more of your time. Just let them say whatever they gotta say and keep it moving, bro. Just go about your life and just whatever, dude. Because whatever you say to that person that thinks like that, it doesn't matter. Somebody that's been thinking like that their entire life, whatever you say to them in a 15-minute conversation is not gonna change their mindset. So just leave them by themselves and go about your life, man. Just don't wait.
but how do you grow from a society like that then, Damani? Is it that you just gotta wait till all those people die out and
Well, you can't even just based off of that, you can't even wait till those people die out. I mean, yeah, that is a really good question. How would you move forward after that? I mean, I don't even know, man. Honestly, it would have to be there would have to be the select few that think like that are open to discussion and then you would convince those people, and then they would go back to their troop that think like how they used to think, and then open their minds up. Because if it's a person that hates another race or sexual orientation that's not like them, and it's that person that they hate trying to convince them to not hate them, I feel like it's less of a chance of success as opposed of, oh, it's Frank that I knew and grew up with, and he's trying to convince me to be more open minded about the way society should work. It'll be more a success rate when it's coming from somebody that you trust than somebody
Yeah.
that you don't like and don't trust just because of the way they look. So I feel like it's just gonna have to be the moderates in the country are gonna have to sit down, get together, talk some shit out, and then after they, change some mindsets, then those people that are the moderates will go to their extremist buddies and try to change their mindset because, but that's gonna take some time, man. That'll take a while. It's either gonna take a while or it's gonna be freaking when aliens start invading the planet. Then that's the only time. That's the only time humans are gonna get together and like not be fighting each other. So it's either one of those two options, dude. That's it. That's really, I mean, there's really nothing else I can even say. You can't really wait for them to die off because
Yeah.
I mean, you saw what happened in Charleston. You saw how young those dudes were that were marching with the
That
tiki
is
torches
true.
and stuff. They were
All right.
young.
All right. Actually, I do want to ask you a question to kind of segue off of that. Why? I don't understand, but why are Jews hated so much?
I have no idea. I
I don't.
honestly, I have no idea, man. I really don't get it.
I don't get it. I don't understand. Like in my eyes, somebody that's Jewish seems white to me. Like I don't see what's the problem. Like is it because they're Jewish? Is it because their religion why they don't like them? Like I don't understand. Like I don't see anything wrong with them for
Yeah.
them to. I've read like done some research about like the Nazis taking policies from the Democratic Party to in terms of segregation to implement segregation in. Did you know about that?
Oh, I didn't know about that. What in U.S. or like another country in
No, in
Europe or
US.
something?
So they basically use the same ideals that Democrats were using in the US at the time when, Jim Crow and all the racist movement was going on, and basically implemented it in Germany for Jewish people, for Jews, basically. Same ideals. They didn't go as far as Democrats did, but they used kind of the same ideas. So the Democrats, the policies that they put in place back in I think it's a little bit before Jim Crow time, or it might be around Jim Crow time. The same racist policies that they put in place, that's what the Germans developed their policies from to basically segregate Jews and implement the same type of ideals that was being used in the U.S. in Germany. Yeah. So I don't know how accurate that is, but I've read more than one thing now that said the same thing. So
I mean, I
yeah.
wouldn't. I would believe it because I mean, the way this is just the way that the world is so intertwined that people don't really realize like there could be just like a breeze on the other side of the planet that'll make a hurricane on this side of the planet. So it's just like the world is very intertwined, and a lot of people don't realize how intertwined the world really is. How
Well,
we all affect each other.
it wasn't like, oh, this accidentally, we accidentally used the same policy. They did their research and they try to figure out how can we become like them? How can we do what they're doing to black people over here to the Jews? And that's
Yeah.
exactly what they did.
Yeah, damn, that's
So,
crazy. And then I know that the U.S. government got the idea of ghettos, stuffing a bunch of group of people into a small area with limited resources, and then just watch them kill each other off. They got that idea from the Nazis. So it's like they're just changing ideas with each other. It's crazy.
that's so bad. Well, to kind of move on from these depressing topics, we're gonna talk about something a little more entertaining,
Yeah, a little more lighthearted, man.
lighthearted. Yeah,
A little less depressing. I'm gonna go
yeah.
cut myself now. Ugh.
Don't say that. Jeez.
Just a little bit, not a lot.
So in college, we probably told you guys a few stories about some of our experiences back in the day when we were in college, but we got a couple stories that we can share with you. I think you guys might find them interesting or. The money doesn't. You don't sound too ready for it.
No, man. Some of those stories should never see the light of day again. Some of those. Well, let's just say whoever. Okay. Well, first off, most of these stories take place in college is a crazy, interesting phase in life where you learn a lot about yourself, a lot about others, and a lot about the shit you would tolerate. Yeah, you just learn a lot about a lot, but
So I'll instead of sharing a story, I'm just gonna explain, I guess, my experiences and my feelings towards college. Specifically just some of the experiences that we have. Like if you talk to any other person, normal person, and you tell them just some of the stuff that we've gone through, they look at us like, what the hell? Like, why are you telling me about a movie? Like, when in reality, it's not a movie. Like, we're telling this stuff happened. Like,
yeah.
some of the things
the stuff that you would see off of like Van Wilder, those kind of National Lampoon.
yes.
That stuff really happens, man.
Yes. Probably 10 times worse.
10 times worse. Oh,
10 times worse. Just like we have very interesting experience, and that's one thing I want to say. Like, I know a lot of people they don't think they need to go to college. They think they can just go into the workforce. I think everyone should have a college experience because that's like another phase of your life where you kind of get to understand who you really are and what you're gonna become. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I feel like the people that I've met that have never went to college, they just went straight into the workforce, didn't really get to experience everything as much as they should experience. And that, not to say it's a bad thing, but you can always tell like their personality is a little bit different from somebody that went to college, and you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, definitely. They honestly, I know exactly what you're talking about. Like people that have not gone to college, they kind of, I don't want it to like sound bad, but they kind of grow up fast.
yes.
You know what I mean? Like they get kind of old and boring and have kids and like, they just grow up fast. By the time they're like 25, they're like, man, I'm tired of life. I want to go on
Yeah.
vacation.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
Like ball. They're like sick of life already, and they're still so young.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Based off when like that's like how you were saying, Mike. When people that have gone to college, they kind of maintain that I mean like kind of young, kind of open mindedness about the possibilities of life. They're more open to the possibilities of life than people that haven't gone to college. They're kind of just like, life sucks. I gotta go to work. I gotta pay bills, and then that's it. It's like it's kind of sad.
Yeah, so so
Oh damn! Don't be laughing at him. That's fucked up, man. Don't be laughing at him, dude. He's going bald. Don't do it. This guy got like 4 kids and hates his life, man. Don't laugh at him.
Hey,
21.
hey, man. Hey, I have friends that got mad kids, man. I tell you what.
Okay, but look, just basically off of that. So think about it. Even the friends that we got that got mad kids, they went to college, and you still talk to those people, and do those people kind of seem like down on life? They're kind of
No,
tired.
man. They always they're either always reminiscing about just the stuff that used to happen, or they want to freaking do something again to kind of reboot or kind of revitalize that one time that they experienced something in college and something like that. Like they're always lively, they're always fun to be around.
Yeah, they're like I was saying earlier. They're open to the possibilities of that life would throw their direction. So okay, so let's
Yeah,
think about the same people. Do you think that if they didn't go to college and had the same amount of kids that they got now, what do you think that they would behave the same?
no, I don't think so.
Where you think there would be more like Eeyore off of Winnie the Pooh, kind of like okay,
Yes, yeah. I don't know. But just thinking about just off the top of my head how that person is, if they didn't experience like half the things that we did in college, I really think that they would be just like that. Just because, like, just off the top of my head, just thinking about one of my college buddies, like before we actually started experiencing stuff in college, they were super boring. They never wanted to leave their dorm. They just sat in the room all the time, and then yeah, and then after you took them out for the first time, it was almost like this person like did a complete 180. Like he was a different person, completely different personality. Start to be more engaging and whatnot,
more
and
outgoing.
more outgoing. Yeah, like for instance, like I'm gonna tell you, when I was in college, right? I invited Damani to come up for a little bit to come hang out with me because I used to tell him just some of the crazy ass stories that we used to have when I was in school, and he never believed me. He thought I was lying, like he thought I was making it up. So Damani comes down.
But no, but that has to do more with with what the kind of city Lynchburg is than just the
Yes.
college experience. Because Lynchburg, honestly, all right, for the listeners, if you guys have never been to Lynchburg, Virginia, just the easiest way to explain how Lynchburg, Virginia is just think about the cartoon Boondocks and how ridiculous stuff happens in that cartoon. That's exactly what happens in Lynchburg. Like, I'm no exaggeration. Crazy.
So on his way up, coming up, he should have known that something is up, man, because his car kept acting up on the way up here, and that should have been a premonition right there to turn around, and don't don't come. He gets up here, and I think was it the first night you got like you got pulled over?
No, it wasn't the first night. Okay, so remember the first day I got there, we had the mystery of we don't know who's egging people's cars
Oh
and
yes, yes,
slicing
yes.
tires and keying cars. So okay, so I pull up in the parking spot. I go inside Mike's house. I'm like, yo, dapping everybody up. Yeah, what's up? What's up? I just got here, like 17-hour driving, whatever. And yeah, crazy. And dude, okay, now mind you, I've only been in the house for like an hour and a half, and I come out and I don't know anybody there. I just know Mike and probably like two other people because I went up there previously for like a week or a half. So the second time I go up there, I'm only there for like an hour. I come back outside and my car is freaking egged. Got like 4 eggs on it. I'm like, how am I getting egged? And I don't even know anybody up here. So that was like the beginning. I only been up there for an hour. That was like the beginning of the craziness. Oh god.
So my car was egged. His car was
Yup.
egged. My
Tires were
buddy's
slashed.
like tires are slashed. And I'm like, yo, what is going on? Then like about maybe it was like a week later or something. We one of my neighbors got their house like raided. Like we were over there like
Like FBI kicking the door, SWAT team, flashing Uzis and shit, like kicking people in the mouth and handcuffing people. Like, yo,
like what is going on, man? And that's just the tip of the iceberg. More stuff happened that probably not a good idea to share, but
yeah, not a good idea to talk about on. No.
but we go to a party and we have a mad fun. A super big fight breaks out. Apparently, Damani knocked somebody out that I didn't even know about. Like,
Oh man, college was very fun,
yes,
very fun, man. For all the listeners out there, if you're ever contemplating on going to college, I 100% co-sign, go to college, and it's not even about like even if you don't even graduate. Honestly, the college experience will open your eyes to so much different opportunities that life has to offer, or even different types of people that you would never meet just like locally in your town or city that you live in. Just
Yeah, that's true. I tell you this, I used to throw parties in my apartment. So I used to live in this townhome. It was not big at all, maybe like 800 square feet. I don't know. It wasn't too big, and we used to
nah,
have
the townhome was pretty big though. For what you guys are paying like $400 in rent and had an upstairs and a downstairs and a
yeah, well, it
washroom,
was
laundry
it,
room.
it wasn't that big. Anyways, we used to throw some massive parties in that house, and when I say massive, I'm talking a couple hundred people in a small ass freaking space, like dancing, going crazy. Like it used to be so bad to the point where people would just show up at my house on the weekend just because.
Knocking on the
Like
door. Yo, what's going
knocking on
on?
the, exactly. Like we would be sitting on the couch and somebody would just like pop up, pop the door open. Hey man, you having a party tonight? Like it was crazy. Like I remember we left that house. There was freaking like jeans mark all around the damn walls, man. Like
That's how you know the party was good. But that's back in the day, man. Honestly, I feel like parties nowadays, like with the younger crowd, if we were to take a picture of the jeans mark on the wall and just put that on Facebook, I guarantee you the younger generation wouldn't even
would
understand
not
what that
know what
photo
it
is.
is
Yeah,
exactly.
they wouldn't know. And I bet there's people listening right now that don't understand what the jeans mark on the wall means. And I'm not going to explain it because y'all going to have to ask the older generation when the parties used to be lit back in the days, man.
Yeah, that was definitely one of those situations where I miss it, but at the same time I don't miss it, man, because whoo, cleaning them damn marks, man, used to get on my nerves, and then the freaking our carpet. I can't tell you how many times I had to freaking rent the rug doctor, man. That was
That carpet was done, man. That carpet wasn't even like fluffy. It looked like tile at the end of the time you guys moving out. That shit was crusty and stumped on and stomped all in. It got dirt caked on. Oh, that shit was gross, man. You're not supposed to have that many people on one carpet at once for that long. For that long, nah, bump that. That shit.
so the thing is, bro, like every time we threw a party, the party would last so long. And man, this is the thing. Back in the day, you used to throw a party, you used to try to keep everybody inside because the longer people stayed inside is the less likely there was going to be noise outside and the cops would come.
Yep, and
Every
fights and all this.
yeah, and people won't fight. So every fucking time, like I would have to run outside, get people inside, not to open the door because people will open the door and the music is blasting. So once one neighbor hears it, he's gonna call the cops, and then the cops are gonna come. They're gonna be like, "You need to turn the music down." And if they get called a second time, they're gonna tell you, "Oh, everybody gotta leave." And sure enough, always happen. Like I'll have mad people in my house, and remember I told you my house wasn't all that big, but people would just constantly show up, and it was just so massive. I remember one specific like time, so many people were there. There was a line to get inside my house, and I locked the door because we weren't letting anybody else in. And there's
I remember that's when the dude punched the window.
and then this guy was so mad that he just punched the window and broke the window because we didn't want to let him in. It was so man. I'll never forget that.
For a house party. I've never heard of that happening. Let me in, bow, let's punch the window, and then what? He gonna fuck up his hand and then run off bleeding. Didn't even get in the damn house. Stupid, yo. But man, that just lets you know that young people with alcohol, especially dudes, and you got chicks on the inside and alcohol, all
Yeah.
testosterone flowing. They don't care what they do, though. They just want to get in. Stupid.
Yeah. But I mean, in his offense, the party was lit because there was a lot of people in that house, man. I think that was the first time I had ever had people like upstairs and downstairs at the same time, and people were on the steps. People were in my roommate's room. Like it
Fucking
was
man, I
just.
remember that.
It,
People in the room fucking on the bed I'm trying to sleep on. I remember that. I go in there, damn shit sticky all over the place. I'm like, yo, I know, dog. I remember one of those parties that you had, dude. All right, I don't even know if I should be saying this, but all right. So I remember one time, right? So I had my little chick up there. Remember there was a couple of them up there. I was just hanging out, just spending time with. I remember one of the parties that you had when it was just like how you're saying, mad people downstairs, people in the bedroom, people in the bathroom, everybody's fucking everywhere. Like, I remember I was trying to go in my bedroom, the bedroom I was staying in, and those people in there using that, like smoking and having sex, whatever. And I was like, yo, I'm trying to get it in. Dude, I remember we sat on the freaking in the hallway, where the hallway, like separating the rooms, like right next to the bathroom where the stairs were. I remember me and my lady sat on the damn, just chilling on the stairs. It was fucking on the stairs, dude. I've never done that in my entire life, and that shit was crazy as fuck. I mean, well, we weren't like butt naked or whatever. We still had our clothes on, and she had on a dress, so easy access. Just chilling stairs, and people like walking past, and she was acting like she was giving me a lap dance, and they're like, yeah, yeah. And
wow.
They were like, yo, you want a drink? I'm like, no, I don't want no damn drinks, man. Leave me alone right now. Leave me alone. He's like, tell people that shoot people away, dog. Man, I remember those parties were crazy. I was making some bad decisions, man. Oh my gosh, making real. Let's just say Plan B was my best friend.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so Damani, he was definitely making some bad decision. He never told me that before. That's the first time I heard that one.
Dude, man, there was some very, oh man. I remember you had that one chick give me lap dance, had a freaking band-aid on her pussy.
Oh.
Yo, man, Lynchburg is crazy. Man, when I tell you guys, you ever get a chance to go to Lynchburg and one of your friends goes to what was it, Liberty? Yeah, Liberty University? Go. I'm telling you, you gotta go. But you gotta make sure you don't spend too much time out of the house because you're gonna get pulled over. That's what happened to me. 3 days,
Yeah.
my third day over there because it's a Commonwealth state, so if you walking around and kind of look like you're up to something, the police have all the right in the world to stop you and frisk you and just do whatever, plant drugs on you, whatever. They do whatever they want. It's Commonwealth. So if you ever go outside or you're driving around or like me, in my case, I was getting gas and I'm trying to go across the street after leaving the gas station to go to Taco Bell, and the damn cops talking about, oh, your brake light is out. And remember, when cops pull you over, they're supposed to show you a valid reason why they pulled you over. My brake lights are out. You need to show me my out brake lights. You need to sit in the car. You need to sit in my driver's seat and push the brake lights and let me get outside and look at the brake light not coming on. The damn cops never did that. I don't even want to get into that. That's a whole nother show right there. I don't want to get into that. But if you guys ever get the chance to go to Lynchburg and experience that college lifestyle, I 100% agree with it. Just do it. You will not regret it. Or just anywhere.
Anywhere, yeah. I wouldn't say go to Lynchburg. Go anywhere
What, for real? Okay.
else.
So when you used to live in Texas, were the colleges down there crazy?
Well, I never really got experience of college life in Texas, because it was me and Ness that was here. So, I mean, we kind of moved past that. Because when we first, actually, I lied. When we first got to San Antonio, we went to one college party and we kind of felt old, dude. Like we were there and no, seriously,
Oh, you're like 23. What the heck?
yeah, at the time, like you know what I'm saying? Like maybe it was because it was lame and just the stuff that we are used to was kind of like better. Because when we went there, like we got into the house and it just didn't seem live. You know what I'm saying? It just seems like they're at a point to where they're just starting, like they were freshmen and they're just starting to feel themselves. Like you remember that point when you just started and you basically fresh out of high school, so you still got that high school smell on you, and that's kind of how it was. Like we got there and they it just seemed kind of immature. So we were there for like 10 minutes. We said what's up to one of our boys, and then we just got in the car and left. Yeah, and that was the day I got pulled over by that cop, that racist ass cop, trying to tell me that I have my tints were too dark. And that's why he pulled me over and then asked me if I had drugs in the car like 4 times for no reason. Like, do you have any drugs, any weapon in the car? I was like, no. He asked, I'm like, what? Why did you? Anyways, that's another.
Yeah, exactly. We know why he did that. Come on, if I oh you got this, I smell it on you. You got drugs, you got alcohol, you got a knife in the damn, anything to pull you over.
keep
It don't
keep
matter.
keep in mind, I'm fresh out of military training, and we had maybe not even 2 weeks now had driven from what you call it, from no, from DC, yeah, from DC to Texas. So I had my ID on me and I showed him my military ID. I told him, I just moved here. Yeah, and this is my car. Clearly had my Maryland plates on my car. Everything, you can tell that I'm not from Texas. Like my license even said it. And the guy was like, "Well, I'm pulling you over because you're tense." You know what? I don't even want to talk about this because this is making me mad. Anyways, we were talking about fun stories, and yeah, so go ex go experience college, man. It's awesome. Like you get to experience a lot of things. You get to see a lot of people. You might meet your other half there, you know what I'm saying? Or you might just get to experience multiple other halves. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
If you know what I mean.
multiple quarters.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. And then not even just that, man. The amount of the types of people that you're gonna meet, and then remember you're also gonna be making connections. And dude, you might end up going to college and end up talking to a future senator or a future sheriff of the city that you're gonna be in, or the future president. You never know. I mean, that's like
Yeah.
one of the best things about college is the connections that you make. Because the
Yes,
connections that
yes.
you make in high school is like, yeah, there's some that's cool that you can make. But like, okay, it depends on what high school you go to. Because remember, Mike, like me and you, we went to Lake Howell. So Lake Howell has a lot of. We got Brandon Marshall came out of there. We got Nick Calates came out of there. We got mad other people came out of Lake Howell, and that are big in like either NBA or football or acting or whatever. So I mean, high school, it kind of depends on what high school you go to. But college, you have way more of a chance of making long lasting connections with people that's going to be like drastically changing the world or just your city or whatever. You're making connections that you otherwise would not make if you go straight from high school straight to the workforce and start hating your life and going bald and freaking resenting your kids and shit. You're only 24. Goddamn.
So so I can say this for sure. If you go to college, do go to college, and like Damani said, make those connections, man, because these connections are usually, excuse me, usually long lasting connections, and you never know, man. Like people that you meet in college becomes your long friends, your long lasting friends. Like I said, and these relationships end up being beneficial to usually both parties or even just to you yourself. You never know. You never know what might come out of it. You know what I'm saying? And to go back to what I was saying earlier, going to college, you kind of get to experience like who you are. You know what I'm saying? You get to you get to know the person that you will become. And I would say for people that don't necessarily want to jump right into a relationship off the back, I think it's very healthy for you to have multiple partners while you're in college. Don't tie yourself down to any specific person.
Hell yeah, man. Of course, man. You're gonna have so many different types of women that you've never seen in your entire life, dude. people from around the
Not
entire
only women,
planet.
you gotta say men too, because women, you are certainly not obligated to one person. If you need to experience what you need to experience, so that you can know who your future husband will be, or what you want from your future husband, you know what I'm saying? You are welcome to do that. And I honestly think that everyone should do that, because that allows for the divorce rate to be less than what it is now. So if you can know who your ultimately who your husband or your wife is going to be based off of your past experience, then there you go.
And the cool thing about college is that you get a lot of stuff out of your system. I mean, yo, some people just want to be little whores for a while, start fucking everything, you know, and just got to get it out of your system. Because I feel like that's healthy. Once you get it out of your system and you grow up and you get a little bit older and you had a chance to do those things, now you're less inclined to do them when you're in a
Yep.
long lasting relationship because you got
Yep.
it out of your
Yep.
system. It's
Yep.
like
Yep.
okay, perfect example. It's like you ever had like known one of these preacher kids where the preacher is like their father is a preacher of or a pastor of a church or whatever, and they're like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
living underneath their father's thumb, can't stay out past 8:30, can't damn cuss or whatever. They're just living under this oppressive thumb, and as soon as they have the chance to be free, go to college or be on their own, they go wild. But I mean, I don't know. You just got to get it out of your system. I feel like if you don't get it out of your system, you're gonna have more problems when you get older and start try to have a long-lasting relationship because there's gonna be stuff that you want to do. So I mean, ladies, you go to college, yo, do whatever you gotta do, man. Double penetration. You got two hands. Taking four at once. Bam, easy, dudes.
Whoa, whoa! I didn't say all of that. Now, Damani, don't listen to Damani. So you
Better
guys
go get that
can
double penetration. You better go do it.
you guys can have fun, but also be careful and be safe out there,
Yeah,
But
be
yeah,
safe.
so
Strap up.
so we've come to the end of the show. As much as we would like to continue our conversation, we gotta call it a night and post the show so you guys can listen to it, obviously. So yeah.
You motherfuckers better listen to it and you better like the shit because this is dope. We talk about dope shit because we're dope people. I gotta eat something, man. I'm hungry.
All right, man. Well, as always, thank you guys for listening. And we shall be back next week. I'm Mike,
I'm Damani.
and
Night.
we're out of here. Peace.
Yeah, good night, sweet dreams.